He came as a baby, God made low, to live, to die, to save us from our sinful woes. A lame man was lowered from the ceiling of a shack, all to see this man who gave him the joy of walking back. A woman carried forth by great faith touched this man's robe. Power bled from his garments. This woman was healed. It is he who walks on water. He won't falter. This man raised Lazarus after 3 days in the grave. The blind saw light. The lame walked right. Who is this King of miracles, my friend? He is the Christ. But wait. Please excuse my storytelling, because I started in the middle, so I'm going to give you what you came for. The story of miracles. In the beginning, God. The miracle of the greatest story ever told begins through the author with his pen as he crafts together a timeline of salvation. Creation breathed out through the words of a holy God. Humans created for dominion. Imago Dei, in which I was created. The miracle of existing to simply exalt this great creator king. In the beginning, God created, and it was good. But what is next, you ask? What is next is tragedy. Tragedy that names us the villains in this story. This tragedy is called sin. It is the fall. We are broken and enslaved to sin. We aren't the heroes. We are the cowards. We are the villains. So where do we go in our darkness and sin, knowing the levels of our evil, the dark places we all have been? Where is the miracle that is promised? I know you thought this was about miracles, and trust me, it is, but there is hope. And you ask me where it is. Enter now the Christ. He shall crush his head, and he shall bruise his heel. The first gospel, it's the miracle, it's the promise. This is your hope. Enter now a king supernaturally conceived. This is Christ, our miracle-working king. So unlike the fairy tales, the king dies for us, a hero in exchange for a villain. But this is not the end of Christ, though. There's a plot twist coming. It did not end with death. This is just the beginning. This is God. This is the resurrected Christ, the one who reigns. So remove the scales from your eyes and force yourself to pay attention to great works of divine intervention. The gospel, it's the greatest, but there is so much more. There are miracles everywhere. Just open the door. From the sun's faithfulness to rise and set, to the mountains faithful to stand, in the ocean so large and grand, to you, O sinner, least of all, saved by the one who gave it all. For there's this one great truth. For God shows his love for us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died. We now have a command. The miracle of the gospel is what we must proclaim to this dying generation. For death is dead, Christ is raised, and you, O sinner, least of all, are no longer in the grave.